Hi, and welcome to this special LinkedIn Facebook Live. I'm so delighted because today I'm going to be chatting with Linda McCormick, who is a new franchisee with Get Ahead. And Get Ahead is a business that I've been working with for a little while now, about coming up to a year. And she is a franchisee who found out about the franchise opportunity through Investing Women. So it's so exciting to chat with her today because she has been a franchisee with Get Ahead since the autumn. And we're going to be talking all about franchising today, how she's found launching her franchise, what she'd do differently if she ever did it again. So if you've got any questions about franchising or running your own business, you're considering franchising, let us know in the comments. We'd love to answer all your questions about franchising. I've actually previously had a franchise, not Get Ahead. I did something else, but so I've got some experience of running a franchise as well. And I think it's a really good opportunity to get into business with support. So if people are logging on, let us know if you can hear us all okay. If you're watching this on the replay, welcome. And yeah, really excited to learn about franchising. So thank you so much, Linda, for joining us today. Sorry, it's a bit bright. I need a blind. Yeah. So nice to meet you and well done. Congratulations on the new franchise.
Thanks a million. It's been a fun few months, something totally different. I can't believe that it's been a few months already. Like it's been 4 months already. It's gone so quickly, and I suppose they say if things go quickly, it's because you're enjoying them.
Absolutely.
I never in a million years imagined I would be a franchisee, but yeah, here we are, and it's I genuinely wish I had done it sooner.
Do you? So talk us through your background then. What was your background before Get Ahead?
So I've been about just under 20 years working in hospitality. Would have started, chefing when I was 15, doing transition year, and kind of fell into it and sort of worked my way through for the last 20 years. Most recently working on the agency side then for hospitality. So a full 360, knew hospitality inside out, didn't really know anything else, and was sort of, I don't know, you come a bit institutionalized in whatever industry you work in. So yeah, I had a few years ago gone out and started my own business, and that was 2019. Started the business, all going really well. Of course, COVID hit, and I still loved the business, but it wasn't doing what I had thought it would do for me. Like it wasn't filling that gap. And I kind of lost passion for it. It became a slog as opposed to a passion project. And you don't have to love work every day, but you do have to love it more than you don't love it. So yeah, I rejoined hotels.
Yeah.
That was in January of last year. I rejoined and quickly realized why it didn't suit me anymore. It wasn't quite what I had signed up for, and post-COVID, completely different landscape as well. And I started looking around. I never planned to have a franchise. Genuinely never planned, never thought of having a franchise. In fact, the word franchise is a little bit scary for me.
What was scary about the word franchise to you?
I suppose franchises are for other people. Franchises are for, established business people that know what they're doing, not, somebody that, you have the greatest thing is the imposter syndrome that stops you doing everything, and I suppose franchises were for other people that knew more and knew better and were more experienced in the business world. I mean, where would I be going looking at a franchise? But yeah, I just happened to be sort of getting more active on LinkedIn, looking around at what was out there. Did I want a job? Did I want to, start another business? I definitely wanted to do something where I could be in control of how much, when I worked. I have 3 kids, and the youngest is 5. And with the older 2 guys, of course, it was work. And you realize as you get older that what's more important. So I really was looking for something that fitted. I love working. So life, but also had to be busy enough. I had considered maybe working in the local supermarket, or going back in working for somebody else as a cleaner, or going back to work on reception in hotels. And it was not going to fulfill me. It was going to pay the bills, but it wasn't going to fulfill me. So I just happened upon one of your chats with Rebecca, one of these LinkedIn lives, actually, I think. and I just listened. It was like 3 or 4 minutes long. I just started listening, and I started to feel like, oh yeah, that's what I want. Like,
Yeah.
did you ever get hungry and go to the fridge and you don't know what you want, but then when you get the right thing, you're like, oh, it's exactly what I wanted. That
Yeah.
filled every gap. So
Oh,
yeah, I had the chats with, watched the video, and I reached out then and there to Rebecca, and I just said, hey, listen, I know you're UK. What do you think? We need this in Ireland. We don't have it in Ireland. Well, not in any scale. What do you think? And yeah, it just went from there.
so tell people, if they don't know what Get Ahead is, what's Get Ahead?
So Get Ahead, it's taken me a while to figure out, a lot of research before I committed to the franchise as to exactly what it was and what it delivers, and how it can be beneficial. You can sell things, but you can't sell things that you're not genuinely believing,
Yeah.
are of value to people. So what Get Ahead does is it essentially matches. So we have a massive pool of about 70 experts on board at the moment, and more coming through the process at the moment. And what we do is we take our experts, we get to know them, we know exactly what their strengths and weaknesses are, what their auxiliary skills might be. They might be a really good digital marketer, but social media they're also really strong on, or they might be a really good digital marketer and speak French. And all these things are put into I suppose accessible format that we can speak with businesses, get to know what the business needs, and then effectively matchmake. So we have a kind of an issue. It's been going on a long time, not just in Ireland, but where we have loads of really, really good expertise. And then we have loads of really, really good companies. But the people with the expertise don't have, a big marketing budget. They're not going out. They probably don't have time or budget to be going to, trade shows where the bigger businesses would be. And they may not feel comfortable marketing themselves. A lot of experts I know are really good at what they do, but they don't want anyone coming into their space. Let them expert, let them expert in their own space. And so what we do is, as regional directors or outsourcing specialists, we matchmake companies. We get right down to the root of exactly what they need help with. So, for example, I wish that I had come across outsourcing or Get Ahead when I had my small business.
Yep.
I really needed help, but I didn't know what help I needed, and I couldn't identify myself because I was so busy in the business. So what Get Ahead does is, all the regional directors we're all from a business background. Some of us have had businesses or worked in financial industry or the hospitality industry. Some of us have worked in retail for many years. So we get it. We get what the challenges can be, and then we fine tune, we analyze it, we chat, we really get to know the company and figure out exactly what it is you need. You might think this is what you need, but when it comes down to the nitty gritty of it, if that's your strength, you keep doing that in your business. You're the best person for it. And let somebody else outsource the things that you don't enjoy or you don't do well. Outsource them to an expert who thrives on doing it, will do it much faster, much more efficient, and get you a better result. So essentially that's what we do. Yeah, I could ramble on about it.
I wrote a post on Friday all about outsourcing. I'm like, just like, whatever you can as a small business, I've got a VA.
Oh, what do you not do?
What do I not do? Well,
yeah, I saw that.
and then at home, I think, whatever you cannot do, so much better for your mental health, your work-life balance, your sense of well-being.
And if you dread it, if you're coming up to it and you really are procrastinating and you don't want to do it, why force yourself? There's somebody out there that wants to do that for you and wants to do it really well and faster and cheaper. So yeah, it makes sense.
So what kind of businesses do you support then?
Wow, now that's a question. So we support, I wouldn't say every business because we don't suit every business, but there's very few that don't fit the list. So there's a lot of we would do white labeling for quite a few digital marketing businesses, web design businesses, small businesses that maybe want to grow their social media but they either don't know how or they don't have the resources. We also
so it looks, when you say white labeling, it looks like, so for digital marketing agents, they employed you, for example, and needed some extra support to support one of their clients, it would look like one of your
Yeah,
pool came from them, not rather than your pool. Is that what you mean?
exactly, exactly. So it's a mixture.
Interesting.
I mean, it's a virtual agency, so we would have experts that, you know, there's a small company, there might be 2 or 3 people there, and maybe they're launching a product, or somebody's on maternity leave and they need to fill that gap, but they don't have the resource, or they don't want to hire. And so people might come to us then and or holiday cover. You know, if you're a business and you're running your own business and you're a one-man band, what do you do on holidays? Do you close down? I mean, stop your sales, or do you have somebody in there that is fully briefed, knows what they're doing? So we run that. We also run white labeling, and then we also support, the likes of the different trades. So, maybe if you're an expert electrician or block layer or floorer, you don't necessarily have the social media skills or digital marketing or accounting. And why do you want to go learn that? You don't need to.
Yeah, exactly.
We kind of fill the gaps. We find out what's needed, and we fill what's needed. And quite often companies will, start with maybe a little bit of accounts assistance or social media, and that will grow then to maybe having a number of different experts. You could have 2 or 3 different experts all doing a couple of hours to come up with the final.
All right, yeah. So a couple of hours here or there, or a couple of hours a day, or whatever they need.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's really flexible, because everybody is, we charge per minute. So because everybody is working to time, you're not paying for extra time that's not being used. And then my job as a kind of as the owner of the franchise is to make sure that all those cogs are running, and so the business is getting what they need, and the experts are getting what they need. Are they getting paid? Are they getting the right rate, and all this kind of stuff? So
brilliant. And you look after clients in Ireland. Whereabouts is it? Ireland? You look
So
after clients,
yeah, at the moment, because we've just launched Get Ahead in Ireland, I'm looking after anyone in Ireland that needs assistance, outsourcing or otherwise. And then, as we go down, we may change that up. But for the moment, if you're in Ireland and you need outsourcing, I'm your gal.
Absolutely. And what are the benefits, do you think? We talked a bit about, it helps people stay in their lane. They can stay focused on what they're good at and then outsource what they're not good at. But what are the benefits to businesses for outsourcing?
So for outsourcing businesses, there's that massive one. Our biggest bill when I was in business was the tax bill, and that included, paying your VAT, your PAYE on your workers. So there's a massive amount of extra revenue required to cover having in-house staff, whether it be holiday pay, your PRSI, it's your social insurance here in Ireland, and things like, training courses. Has everyone been trained up? Whereas if you're getting somebody who's already an expert, that piece has already been cut out. It's been done for you. You are guaranteed you're getting an expert. And, sometimes jobs change as well. You take somebody on because you're at this stage in your firm, and then as things move, their skills might need to move, particularly with startups and growing businesses. You might find that it's a different skill set that you need. So you've hired somebody and now you're expecting them to grow with you, but naturally a person is not going to automatically have those skills. So it's about plugging in. If I need medical assistance, I'm going to go to my doctor. I'm not going to go to my vet and say, hey, listen, while you're looking at the dog, have a look at my leg.
Yeah.
You need to get the right person for the job. So yeah.
And so I suppose you've run a business before,
and
now you obviously run a franchise. What's the difference between running a franchise and running your own business?
It's massive. So I started my previous business. I started on my own, thought I could do it all. And maybe I could have, if I didn't have a life, didn't have a family, didn't have a conscience. You could do it all. But realistically, and from small business owners I've spoken to, it is scary. You'll know yourself. Mm-hmm. Starting up on your own, you have so much to do. You're everything to everyone plus some. Whereas going into the franchise, it's been amazing because it's like a security blanket.
Yeah.
So I work for myself.
Yeah.
But with the franchise, all of the other experts have different viewpoints. And then we have a core team as well who support us with, marketing and with branding and with general bouncing things, I'm going to do this. What do you think? And people that are like your own cheerleading squad, you know. So
Yeah.
one thing that I found is that you have a constant with a franchise. So with your own business, you know, obviously with other things going on in life as it does, you might have some time where the whole family is sick. What do you do if you run your own business and your whole family is sick? It's really, really tricky. With a franchise, you still have that marketing back. You know, they've got your back. So you have
Yeah.
marketing stuff you can put out. You're not having to look after every single facet of your business. Your business is still running. The website is still going. Updates are still happening. And it's that kind of constant continuity that, you know, I might be on holidays, but my business is still running, you know, and if somebody wants to contact somebody or needs something, it's still all going on. And that is as regards brain space. And they talk about, you know, the female load, and particularly female load, but, you know, with anyone that has other things going on, that mental load can be the make or break. And knowing that you have support with that mental load, like you can't put a figure on that, and you can't, it's really hard to describe unless you've been in the zone, but that's essentially what it is. It's being in business by yourself, for yourself, but with this massive security blanket around you.
I love that. Do you know? And I remember when I did Colour Me Beautiful, which
Yeah,
sort of similar, and then you had a patch, and but that's the point. And I learned loads as well. It was a really good. I mean, and yeah, and like I said, I don't know if you had that, but we had like 6 monthly meetups, and we'd all go,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know, and it felt like you were really, even though you were on your own, you were part of a team. Which actually, as somebody that works completely on
yeah.
my own, I miss that.
Do you? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It's great. I mean, so we have, you know, we have a one-on-one, a monthly one-on-one with Rebecca, who owns the franchise, um, and she's very open and genuine. So every minute of that one-on-one, you're genuinely moving forward. You know, there's no jargon, there's no, you know, that kind of, oh, everything's great, you know, you're great and I'm great and we're all great and it's great. It's a very genuine, like, right, what are we doing? Okay, and if it is great, it is great. But, you know, I suppose it's kind of like getting an ego and parking it. So there is no egos as such interfering with you trying to get ahead. No pun intended. But yeah, we have our monthly one-on-ones. We'll have franchisee meetings where all of the franchisees meet together,
yeah,
virtually, obviously. We meet together, we share ideas, we meet with the core marketing team, the brand manager, HR and resourcing, and we share ideas. And it's really that. I look forward to it. You know, I've always
yeah,
kind of hated meetings and meetings for meetings' sake, but I actually look forward to that every month. And you're kind of going,
yeah,
oh, I want to share this idea, or I can't
yeah,
wait to see what's coming out. And that's a really, you know, I suppose there's ebb and flow with everything. And knowing that you have this, it's like having your cheerleader. You know, you're
yeah,
going into the monthly and people are saying, yeah, that's a really good idea. Or, you know, oh, I haven't thought of that. Why don't we do this? Or this has worked in our area. And I love that. And they say, what is that? I read somewhere the other day, you're the average of the 5 people you surround yourself with.
right,
And
yeah,
this is like, you know, you get so much energy out of those meetings that even if you're having a kind of a dip, or, you know, a slow week, or your energy level's not there, you get on the call and all of a sudden you're like, oh yeah, I
yeah,
want to get going. I want to get off the call quickly so I can
yeah,
start.
yeah, yeah. Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
So what do you think of the biggest things that you've learned since owning your own franchise?
The biggest lesson for me, now I've been a workaholic for 20 years, so it's really hard for me not to want to have control and do everything.
Yeah,
And the biggest lesson for me is there's other experts there. Let everyone do what they're there to do, and that lets you do what you're there to do. So, you know, it's the same thing that I would say to my clients. It's the same thing that I would say to experts working with us. This is your thing to do, and you do that really well. So do that really well. And don't be worrying about all the noise over there. Like, you know, I've worked doing social media, but it's not my expert field. I can advise on it, but I'm not the expert that should be doing the nuts and bolts. And that's one of the things that in my own business, I couldn't identify which thing I should outsource or not do. So in franchising, that's been a massive change for me. I don't need to do all those things. I need to focus on the thing that I do best, and that's matching experts with businesses. It's taking the essence of, right, you think you need an accountant. but you actually don't. You need someone to do 2 hours worth of accounting, and you need someone to do 3 hours of marketing to increase your figures, and that's really it. So franchising lets you off that leash of being tied to all the other tasks that you really don't need to be doing. You need to be doing what find your groove and do it really well.
Oh, that sounds really good. And so if you were to launch your franchise again, is there anything you would do differently?
The only thing that I would do differently is I would not launch my husband's business in the same fortnight.
Oh my, in the same fortnight.
Yeah, I would definitely. At the time, I didn't allow myself that. It's a big thing. Launching a business is a big thing. Security blanket or not, it is a big thing. And I suppose, it's something, it came up that the opportunity was there, and we ended up both launching our businesses in the same fortnight, and it was crazy, like crazy. So I'm kind of, it's been a slower start for me than I would have liked, but January is a great month to get going. It's a really good month to get under the skin of what people are doing, what their intentions are for the year. How can you embed yourself in their success, and try, where can you help? This is your plan. This is what you're doing. This is where I can really help you. And so, it's a really exciting time, but that's the only thing. I mean, getting into the franchise was almost too good to be true. And when I came home from meeting Rebecca and the team at HQ, I sort of said to my husband, I was like, this is all going really well. What's the catch? When am I going to find out what the catch is? And it genuinely is everything that it said it was going to be. And I am genuinely so glad that I started the franchise, having never, ever, ever thought I would. It really has been really enjoyable. And I love the fact that, I've never worked a 9 to 5 kind of, well, I've always worked 9 to 5 in the last 10 years, but I've never worked a 9 to 5 where I felt that I was really productive all of the time I was there. No. And one of the things with franchising is, so I can work when I have all this, unbridled energy. I can work and I can do a whole load of work. And then when it's the day when everybody's not well, or I keep talking about everyone being sick, we're not sick all the time. But for example, the car has died, or, you need to commit yourself to something else. That ebb and flow of life, with a franchise, you can work with that. So you can work when you're feeling, that you're really working, you can get loads of work done and sort of stockpile and be the best that you can be. And then when it's not, when you're not at that same level of energy, because it's your own franchise, what are your essentials, and what are not your essentials. And you're not having to, do things that are not necessarily productive. And I suppose that's the key to everything. Everyone wants to be as productive as possible when they can.
Absolutely. So what does a typical day look like for you?
Typical day. So I like a non-typical day. I'm very difficult some days. I mean, so I'll start my day with a little bit of social media, check in what's happening, LinkedIn, who's hiring, who's not, I'll check in with colleagues that maybe are at a loose end, or experts that are looking for a new home, a new outlet. Then I look at kind of catching up with clients during the day. I try to do that in the morning time. The morning tends to be a better time to catch people. They're more inclined to be open to new conversations. I'll quite often have a little bit of networking. So that could be, once, twice a week, depending on what's going on. January is a great month for getting back to it.
Yeah.
We'll have, and then we'll be sitting down. I do work, I have a little bit, I work for a local paper as well. So I love bringing that into the mix, and it leaves me a lot of variety in the day as well. Mainly it's catching up with networks, making sure the clients are service to what has been agreed. Looking for new experts is a huge part of it at the moment, because we're growing and it's the first get ahead franchise in Ireland. Looking to build the Irish pool of experts is my number one at the moment. We have a huge pool in the UK, and they're experts in each of their fields. But it's nice to have local as well, and to be able to sort of to catch up and meet people face to face as well is great. A typical day is really just building on that. Billing, I'm currently looking for a virtual assistant for myself because billing is not something that I'm great at. I will do it when I have to, but not my field, not my area of expertise.
Yeah.
Get someone that loves to do numbers to do that for me. Yeah, so that's the nuts and bolts of my day. Now there's all the other things, but I talk an awful lot, so I imagine that will
That's
be
what I was going to say. Do you want to give
another
a
live.
shout out? So what type of experts are you looking for in Ireland to build your pool?
So at the moment, the biggest ones that people are looking for, accounts assistant, accounts and bookkeeping is huge at the moment. A lot of small businesses that, because of the backlogs, particularly in trades and construction industries. So accounting is a big one. HR resourcing is now becoming something that companies are looking at for outsourcing, particularly, as there's a lot of change in businesses at the moment. So they need, support in that area. So it's really accounting, bookkeeping, HR, and of course, there's always demand for digital marketing and social media. Virtual assistants. And then you have as well, we always have need for virtual assistants who do a general sort of admin support and things like that. So yeah, they're the 5 key areas at the moment. We do offer a massive amount of kind of more specialized services, but they're the 5 that I'm really looking to build my team here in Ireland at the moment with. So.
Okay. And what would be your advice to any budding franchise owners that are watching this, that are maybe thinking about franchise?
So first of all, don't count yourself out. Even if you're not a budding franchise owner, consider. I think with everything, it's like a shoe that fits really well. I mean, you could be a size 6. You put your foot in 10 size 6s and only one fits really well. I found a franchise that ticked all the boxes for me, and one that we share the same vision, goals, and I'm surrounded by experts that, it's inspiring to work with people that you want to be as good as. Mm-hmm. So I would say to people, find one that fits. Don't rule yourself out, and do your research. So, all franchises are different. Get a good solicitor to look over your agreements and things. Make sure you're really comfortable in it. And make sure that you genuinely are aligned, and that it before getting into the franchise, I would have spoken to different franchisees that have been in the company different lengths of time, the newest franchisee and the longest franchisee, a lot of conversations with Rebecca, kind of go away, write down if there was something niggling. So I did a lot of research. It was months and months and months before I decided to commit. So that's really my key takeaways. Brilliant. Your research, don't count yourself out. Make sure you find one that really fits, and make sure it aligns with your genuine aspirations.
So where can people find you, connect with you, and learn more about Get Ahead?
So the easiest place to catch me is always on LinkedIn. You'll get me on LinkedIn. You can drop me an email, linda@getaheadva.com. If you'd like to check out the webpage beforehand, it is dublin.getaheadva.com. You can find all the information there, whether you're looking to become an expert or you need an expert, or indeed if you're looking to become a franchisee. And of course, more than happy to have a chat or a coffee if you're in the area, if you don't feel like committing to the submit now button.
Absolutely, yeah. Oh, well, it was so lovely to meet you, Linda. Congratulations on the franchise.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. And thanks for all your support. It's I love keeping up to date with investing in women. It's a really, really good resource for opening people's eyes to what is out there to find what you need to scratch the itch. I'm like a book of cliches today.
Oh, well, it was so nice to chat with you. I've loved learning more about Get Ahead. I think it's a brilliant organisation, and I've loved learning more about you. So thank you so much for your time today.
Thanks, Emil, for having me on, Liz. Speak soon.
Speak soon.
Take care. Bye.